It is 3:15, October 3rd. Investigators who pride themselves on being undetectable, who potentially supposedly could be murdered for what investigating and digging into whatever they're digging into, probably aren't going to show their face if they could be murdered and pride themselves on being undetectable. They're not going to show up and say, "Oh, I'm the investigator." Probably going to say undetectable. Because probably part of their ways they investigate involves them remaining undetectable, whoever these guys are. So, key point. Oh, so whoever these guys are claiming to be investigators, a lot of them aren't. A lot of these kids that I was getting info from were receiving supposedly packets, and they thought they were reading information from a movie script, and thought they were reading movie lines. Some of these people. And then these kids claiming they investigated, they're just stealing my analysis of all this data that was flowing through my brain. Some people didn't even think I'd even figure out what was going on. They didn't even think I would even understand it or put it together or anything. And then people actually started lying because I figured it out too fast. So that's a key point. But some of these guys also pride on themselves on being undetectable. Some of the criminal fuckers, but some of these investigators too. So be wary, because there's a lot of people pretending they investigated stuff that they didn't. And a lot of people thought they were in a movie and reading scripts from a fucking movie. And thought they were in a movie. And they're reading scripts from a movie. And they'd be like, "Oh, it's a line, blah, blah, blah." So, and then other people claiming to help were purposely not helping enough on purpose so they could pull something off, and I'd figure it out after it was too late or some bullshit. So that's another piece of this. So they weren't even altruistic. They were purposely trying to steal and had a plan and were just pretending to help and string me along. And that's what they've been doing. Oh. And then other people were probably telling me stuff to win their bets and truth bets. And then if you look at my key ways I get truth, I explain a lot of it. But some of these guys who actually probably did real investigations are probably the ones distributing these packets to whoever is a piece of this. And then these kids are thinking they're reading movie scripts or whatever. I was never an investigator. I'm just a victim of all this shit. And then I just hear stuff, and then there's some people who know how to control the device in my brain. And they claim they can move me from satellite to satellite, or there's ways that they alter what I'm hearing via telepathy, and they can change what I hear and don't hear, and which communities I hear and don't hear, if it's on like different satellites or whatever. So that's a key point. So I have no control over that. I'm just sitting in my room hanging out, and then I'll start hearing shit out of the blue, and I'll be like, "Well, what's going on?" And then I'll be like pulled into some weird debate, and I'll just start fighting with them. Or sometimes I'll just be chilling and hearing shit, and I'll just ignore it because it gets annoying sometimes. But sometimes I'll pay attention and I'll pick up on some stuff. But it's kind of ridiculous because a lot of these people should have been in prison already.